This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, whatever time it is with you and wherever you are. Thank you for downloading this SmackDown review as part of the WWE podcast. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to have you listening along. I am Amanda, your host of the SmackDown review. Give me a follow on Twitter. I am at AmandaSDReview. So, after a week off, I'm back, and as predicted, what a week it was. Let's talk really quick about Saturday night's main event and Evolution before we dive into our SmackDown review. Overall, I thought Saturday night's main event was a little bit underwhelming. Gunther versus Goldberg for the title. This was a longer match than I thought it would be. I think it was about 14 minutes. Possibly having to fill after the Seth thing, but a predictable Gunther win. And apparently Goldberg was very salty afterwards as his speech got cut off. But meh. Rollins versus Knight, and this is the one that got everyone talking for all the wrong reasons, unfortunately. Seth seemed to get a knee injury, calling for the match to be cut short, and a win for Knight. There's a lot of speculation about whether the Seth injury is real, and is it all a work? As far as I know, we haven't had anything officially confirmed either way as of yet. But there are really strong rumours doing the rounds on several other podcasts suggesting it's a work, and that Seth brings a surprise attack at SummerSlam, cashing in the title, possibly screwing Punk in the process, etc., etc. So let's see where we go with that one. Drew versus Randy was okay, I guess. Randy beat Drew, and we got the setup for the whole Jelly Roll Logan Paul match for SummerSlam. Let's see what they do with that. Solo versus Jimmy for the US title was a solo win. And then we move on to Evolution. Io versus Rhea for the women's title. As predicted, an absolute banger of a match, interrupted by Naomi to make it a triple threat, and she took the title, which I thought was absolutely brilliant stuff. Loved it. Tiffy versus Trish for the title. Again, as predicted, Tiffy retains. Becky versus Bayley versus Lyra for the Intercontinental Championship. Becky retains. 20 Women Battle Royale. We didn't get any surprises here in terms of returns. Nikki Bella didn't really do much, and we got a Stephanie Vaquer win, setting her up for a title match in Paris, which is brilliant. She is, I think, top of the list at the moment. Absolutely a brilliant wrestler. Absolutely fantastic. Jade versus Naomi, no holds barred match. Jade takes the win. And this was great, actually, as it left people thinking there's no way that Naomi would cash in. And then she did, which was fabulous. The women's tag title match, Roxanne and Raquel retain, but we have a SummerSlam match already set up for Charlotte and Bliss to take on the tag champs. I thought Evolution was very good and lived up to my expectations, certainly. Do we need it every year? Probably not, but I would love to see it on the calendar of WWE as a semi-regular PLE. And then, of course, we had our Roman return, and what a pop he got when he first came out, hooking up with Jay, getting revenge on the weasel that is Paul Heyman. Just brilliant. Are we headed for Roman Seth at some point down the line? I think that's where we're going, but when and how we get there, that's the fun. And we can't start the review without a word for Hulk Hogan, who, as you know, died this week, aged 71. For whatever you may have thought of him, the guy was a foundation stone of the WWE for sure. So, let's get to it for our main event, and let's review the SmackDown that aired on July 25th from Cleveland. And we start off with a tribute to Hogan, which Triple H delivered, and many of the roster, past and present, were on the stage to pay tribute. And as we kick off tonight's show proper, we have Joe Test trying to sum up a complex man's life, talking about Hogan. Wade calls him the most important figure in WWE history. We then get started and we get Logan Paul out, and Cleveland is his hometown, and even they hate him. We get it confirmed that Drew, Logan Paul versus Randy and Jelly Roll will be on SummerSlam Saturday. Paul starts off by telling Cleveland it's good to be home, and they boo him. He claims the thank you Hogan chants as thank you Logan chants, so typically classless from him as always. Well done, Logan Paul. He says Cleveland raised him, but it didn't make him. In fact, he made the city. He says he isn't like them. They have nothing in common. He says he made it out and you all didn't. And he says tonight is about the community, and he's giving them all the opportunity to see his show live. He says he's going to show Jelly Roll what a real hometown hero looks like. At that point, we get Jelly Roll's music hit, which is actually pretty catchy, and he comes out to a big reaction from the crowd. He tells Paul, "You think you're an inspiration? The only thing you have inspired is little arsehole kids filming themselves being little arseholes," which I thought was absolutely brilliant, and oh my god, so true. Brilliant. He says he's sick of Logan acting like people from Cleveland actually like him. Logan tells him that this is impulsive TV, so shut your mouth and show some respect. He says he bought him out so he understands who he is getting in the ring with at SummerSlam. Logan says that Jelly Roll has nothing to offer but a few cheap shots, so who does he think he is and what has he done? Jelly Roll tells him that he's going to put him in a body bag at SummerSlam. It's escalating fairly quickly. Jelly tells Logan that he has had to struggle his whole life. Unlike Logan, who's never had to struggle, and he's been the silver spoon kid his whole life. Jelly says that he's getting in the ring for all the poor kids who have had to deal with high school jocks like Logan their whole life. He says he's getting in the ring to bring light. He has there, as he's been a WWE fan for his whole life, and it represented him and represented the whole crowd. Jelly Roll says that his story has inspired millions, and he calls Logan a prime peddling punk ass bitch, which again is just a quality line. At that point, Drew arrives and removes his shirt Hogan style, and Jelly's backup RKO makes his entrance. He looks like he's about to talk. He's got a mic in his hand, but instead he just chins Drew. However, we get the heels taking the advantage, and Paul beats down on Jelly in the ring. Thankfully, Randy comes back and takes care of Drew, giving Jelly a chance to get some great shots in on Logan. Jelly hits her, give him his flowers, phenomenal slam, which leaves us with Randy and Jelly standing tall. Now, I think that this was an important opening segment. We were in, I think, desperate need of some context and some story behind this, and now we have it. The Silver Spoon Logan Paul versus the Everyman Jelly Roll. Yes, I like it. It's very good, old school good versus evil, and we have the two legends, Drew and Randy, in the ring to keep things on track in terms of wrestling. I wasn't bothered about this match at all, but this segment has worked a treat on me, and now you can count me in very much. A very, very good, strong start to the show. We then get a vignette from Andrade and Phoenix. Andrade says he knows who Phoenix is, which is always Good, Andrade, as he is your tag team partner. Phoenix says that he also knows who Andrade is. Well, see above comment. They say they are money and they are on a different level. It's only a matter of time till the gold is round their waist. Meh. That's all I've got to say about that. I'm not really bothered. Yes, they're an awesome tag team. Yes, they've got some wicked moves. But it does feel like they've been a bit shoehorned together. Hey, look, maybe I'm wrong. Has been known, like literally every week. But at this moment, I'm not really that bothered by Andrade and Phoenix, apart from the fact that obviously they're completely fire in the ring. Anyway, now we go to our first in-ring wrestling action of the evening, and it's Bliss versus Perez, with Charlotte in tow, getting a good reaction with black pom-poms, and I absolutely love it. The tag match is confirmed for SummerSlam Saturday. This one kicks off with Bliss in charge, and Wade reminding us that last week Charlotte got the win over Raquel with a nice assist from Bliss. We do start off with Bliss in charge and Charlotte stepping in when Raquel tries to get involved outside the ring. Bliss is absolutely handing Perez her arse as she goes for Sister Abigail, only for Perez to break it by raking her eyes. We get Raquel with the blind side on Bliss as Charlotte again takes her out. Bliss is about to go for Twisted Bliss this time, but is distracted by Raquel, who returns to beat down Charlotte. Bliss changes tack and hits a sweet Twisted Bliss on Raquel from the top to the outside, saving Charlotte. But off of that distraction, Roxanne gets a quick roll-up with one hand on the ropes, gets the free count and takes the win. So we go to the go-home SummerSlam show next week with this one at 1 win each. A decent match that didn't last long. I would like to have seen it go a bit longer, but I guess they're wanting to keep their powder dry for SummerSlam, and that's okay. Some nice developments in the Bliss-Charlotte friendship, in inverted commas, and we are defo being sold that Perez and Raquel are on the same page. After the match, we see that Bliss is bleeding from her nose, which looks kind of real, so I hope Bliss is okay and she doesn't have a busted nose, a la Becky Lynch all those years ago in 2018. Again, though, good building for the SummerSlam match. Now backstage, we have Kathy Kelly, who is with Jade, Queen of the Ring, my arse. Cargill, sorry, but I'm still not buying that she is ready in any way, shape or form for any title. Kathy asks her how she is feeling a week out from her title shot. Jade, with a generic answer, says next week she will show everyone she is a natural-born champion and walks away. Chelsea Green approaches Kathy and asks her is she sure she wants to talk about Jade. She says that she was screwed at Queen of the Ring. She says Jade is stupid and slow. And predictably, Jade is behind Chelsea, punches her in the face, and they brawl through Gorilla and towards the ring. Jade is carrying Chelsea on her shoulders, tosses her into the ring where there is a ref and the bell rings. So we have Chelsea versus Jade, which is weird. There just happened to be a ref hanging out in the ring doing nothing and the bell just rang and there's a match. Who made the match? No, I'm not having this at all. This finishes quickly as Jade hits Jaded and wins. Jade is beaten down then by the Secret Service. After the match, and for some unknown reason, Tiffy comes out to make the save. The two team up and clear the ring. I mean, what and what? What is the point of this? I guess they set up Chelsea to be squashed by Jade to make her look strong, but of all the people on the roster, why do Chelsea dirty? They could have literally used any other woman. Looks like they are decided on moving Chelsea into the Miz role, which is a massive shame, as she's brilliant. And why, in storyline world, would Tiffy come out and save Jade? Surely Jade getting a pre-SummerSlam beatdown is good news for Tiffy. Weird, and don't like it. I fear we are getting WWE. They're just going to push Jade to the top, whatever happens. For me, this has a massive whiff of Vince pushing Roman to the moon pre his OTC babyface Roman, regardless of how everyone else felt. Basically, we're being instructed by WWE that Jade is awesome, and therefore she's getting pushed, and I just think, sigh. Backstage now, and we have Bliss. She's being comforted by Charlotte, who says maybe they can be friends after they win at SummerSlam. And I have to say, again, brilliant stuff by WWE with Charlotte here. They have turned me 100% round on Charlotte, and I am now rooting for her and Bliss as a team. And yes, I am an absolute mark. We've now got Cody in his new dress-down look, which I think is pretty cool. I'm enjoying him being a bit less politician. He comes to the ring and he says that yesterday WWE lost a giant in Hogan. He again acknowledges the complexity of feeling around him, but says his contributions are massive and he thanks Hogan for everything. He goes on to talk about the match between him and Cena at SummerSlam. He says it will be violent, and sometimes that is what doing the right thing looks like. He says that he doesn't want to wrestle this Cena. He doesn't want to fight a guy who didn't want this match, and is counting down the days till he's out of the door. He wants to fight the real Cena. He says the title Cena has is the biggest and best in the business, and that means something. He says he wants the old Cena who used to talk to Stu on the way to the ring, wear the title the right way round and run down to the ring so they can beat the hustle, loyalty and respect out of each other. He says he wants the real Cena as he needs to know that the story meant something and was real. So if some channels are to be believed, we apparently, maybe, allegedly, possibly might be getting a double turn at SummerSlam, with Cody finally turning heel. Now, I am not one of those who thinks that would be good. I mean, we turn him and we turn Cena. Fine, okay. Cena leaves in December and Cody is still heel. I think if you look at the roster, we are really heavy on heels right now, so I'm not sure. The promo was short and sweet, a bit more build, I guess. Nothing we didn't already really know. But we keep pressing to SummerSlam, and I'm assuming surely we must have a Cena appearance on next week's SmackDown. We get a recap then of last Friday's slightly odd car crash angle and what led up to the steel cage match at SummerSlam and Solo's quote-unquote arrest by some real dodgy-looking police. And a promo from Fatu, who tells Solo that he loved him, but he tried to get him framed and sent back to jail, and he said he was never ever going to go back to jail. He says, though, he doesn't mind getting locked in a steel cage for the US title, and he's going to dog walk his ass. Now enter The Miz. Yes, you heard me. The Miz. He says 6 weeks ago, Fatu took him out, and it's given him time to remember who he is. He says he isn't a target, he's a main character, and with that in mind, he set up a match tonight against Fatu. Now, I'd forgotten Miz is from Cleveland, so I guess this was nailed on. That match is coming up now, and we get Miz out to a decent hometown pop. Before we go to that match, we get a promo from Priest, who is building his beef with Black. They have a match next week, but unfortunately it's only on SmackDown, not at SummerSlam. Let's see how that match between those two goes. Could be awesome, could be a complete damp squib, but I'm interested to see, as you guys know, what WWE do with Black. And similarly with Priest, because they're both great talents. We then get back to this match. Fatu is out and gets a much bigger pop than hometown Miz. And I fear for the Miz here, he may be about to get his head ripped off. This one starts off with Miz trying his best, but Fatu predictably beating the what's out of him. The crowd 100% on Fatu's side, and he is kicking ass. We get Solo and his MFT coming down to the ring, which distracts Fatu, allowing Miz to attack. and start making some inroads into the match. Fatu flies out of the ring, taking out the MFT and Miz. Fatu ends it quickly with a pop-up Samoan and a pin, getting the win. But in a heartbeat, the MFT are in the ring and beating down Fatu. This brings out Jimmy with a chair to make the save, and he takes out the MFT, but is levelled by Talatonga. And the rest of the gang then carry on where they left off. But Fatu, as we've come to expect, launches an awesome fight back and ties Solo up with a chair around his neck and looks to hit the hip attack, but is flattened by Talatonga on his way across the ring. We end up with Solo and his MFT standing tall over Jacob Fatu and chops it off to him. So I'm going to go early here and say I think we're getting a Fatu win at SummerSlam. Without his crew, Solo is unfortunately barely average these days. And Miz, on his return from injury into his hometown, is once again fed into the storyline and chewed up. And now do you see what I mean about the path of Chelsea Green and The Miz? It's like they're just tools. Backstage, Kathy has the Profits with BFAB. She asks for their perspective on tonight's match. BFAB says they are a specific enemy and need to be dealt with in a specific way. Dawkins says it doesn't matter as they are next. So hang on, wait. If BFAB is now back with the Profits, did we decide that her and Meechin are no longer a thing? That's a shame. That was looking interesting. They were both thriving in that environment. Anyway, Profits are interrupted by DIY, who say they blew their title run. They should step aside and let DIY handle it. Candice tells them they have a plan, and all they have to do is stay out of the way. We then get a trailer for Unreal, which starts this week. Now, for anyone who's been living under a rock, this looks to tell the story of the writing room and how all this comes about in WWE. There's a lot of contention around the WWE fans, podcasts, Twitter, etc. Is this a genuine look behind the curtain, or is this also part of the storyline? I don't know. I'm really looking forward to it in equal measure of not looking forward to it. It feels like Christmas might be about to get ruined, but also I really, really want to have a peek behind the curtain, see what goes on, see what the processes are and the thought that goes on. So I will watch it, possibly like I used to watch Wurzel Gummidge as a kid, which is through my fingers and slightly behind the sofa, because I'm not sure I really want to know. But I'm certainly intrigued, and more WWE programming that we have got to make time for in our week. Thank God for Netflix. Backstage, we have Zelina facing up to Julia. Yes, yawn, Zelina. We have Kiana James as her management and spokesperson, and she tells Zelina that she will get her rematch next week. Ugh. Let's hope that marks the end of that and let Julia go on to face any of the other massively impressive women on the roster. I thought we did away with rematches for this very reason. It's just we get caught in a vortex of rematch, and the same stories over and over. So let's hope this is a one and done next week. Julia retaining, hopefully, against Zelina. Now to our main event this evening, which is the tag title match, Wyatt Six versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. This one kicks off with the challengers getting ahead and Andrade managing to hit three amigos, but Loomis and Gacy, quickly managed to fight back. Some impressive moves from Phoenix though, a kip up straight into a super kick, which looked really, really cool. A double tag brings in Andrade, who does well, taking out both the tag team champs and getting a very close cover. Gacy and Loomis, though, take back the upper hand and get a cover which is only broken at the last nanosecond by Phoenix. Andrade hits the message and, to be honest, looks to have it won, but the ref is yanked from the ring by Nikki Cross, who finds it all hilarious. So this one goes to a DQ finish. We get the bell rung almost immediately, which means the Wyatt Six retain. And after the bell, we get Eric Rowan come to the ring and one by one takes out all the members of the tag locker room, who come to the ring one by one and have a go at him. Finally, the Profits come out to a decent pop, actually, and seem to be making headway against Rowan, but Nick Aldis makes an appearance with his mic at ringside with DIY, and it's all gone completely crazy. Nick says that he has had enough of this, despite what he'd set up a couple of weeks ago. Everyone seems to still want to go, so he makes a match for SummerSlam, and it's tables, ladders and chairs for the whole tag division. I mean, that is going to be a spectacle and a half, with the athleticism and the moves that some of these tag division partnerships are capable of. Blimey, I'm relieved I don't have to summarise that match for the podcast. It will be absolute carnage. But what a match that is going to be. That is going to be something quite special. I'm really looking forward to that. Absolutely one for the ages, I'm sure. So well done, WWE. Show comes to an end with the whole tag team division brawling. We've got what looks like every producer, every referee, every WWE official out there trying to break things up, but it is absolute carnage as the Wyatt Six make their way away from the action, still holding their tag team titles. And I don't think you can call who's going to win that TLC tag team match at SummerSlam. It could be any of them. They are all supremely talented, and all I know is, yes, please sign me up. That's going to be awesome. We also got tonight the day-by-day card of SummerSlam, so we know who's going to be on the Saturday, who's going to be on the Sunday. So obviously on next week's show, we'll be making some predictions. So we'll go through who's on the Saturday and who's on the Sunday. So I thought tonight was a great show. Some good build and some good story development. Not a massive amount of actual wrestling, but I don't mind that so much. We are en route to the second biggest PLE of the year, and the stories need to get out there and be told, particularly as this is the first 2 nights SummerSlam. There's an awful lot of quite detailed storytelling that needs to go on there. So I'm okay with there being a more minimum amount of wrestling on tonight's show, as long as that doesn't become the norm, because obviously we love the stories, but we also really love the wrestling, which is, let's be honest, why we're all watching. So we continue to the Go Home show next week, and I, for one, am very excited about this SummerSlam. I want to say a massive luck to the Lionesses, who face Spain tomorrow afternoon. We would love to see them retain their European Championships and bring football home once again. So come on, the Lionesses. And anyway, guys, that does it for me this week. Reach out on Twitter. Let me know what you thought of this show, which I thought was quite a different show, and I'll be interested to see what you thought. I am Amanda SD Review, so reach out, let's talk wrestling. That does it for this week's show. Thank you for having me in your ears once again, and remember, until next time, be kind. Come on, the Lionesses.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.